Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Broken Roads with me, Meridan. Let's check out the crashed plane. The lid of this container has been forced open. Whatever was inside is long gone. Guess someone got the jump on us. Wonder what was inside. Looks abandoned. Just as well no one was working nearby when that thing came down. Got a small first aid kit. How could something like that fall out of the sky? How did it get up there in the first place? Make sure everyone's okay, will you? Let me know if you find any wounded. We don't have much, but I'll do what I can. Guess we have to leave her to the scabies now. Shame. I'll let you out of my sight for 1 minute. You come back with a new best friend. He glares at you. Who is this bludger? And why is he trailing you like a lost puppy? DJ, good to see you. She raises a hand in greeting before turning to Mick. He's the one who helped me. Apply the suppository to Bob back when he ate that Hessian sack full of copper wiring. He grunts. I suppose if anything nets you a temporary spot with our crew, it's having had your hand stuck up Bob's butt. He fixes you with his gaze. This is temporary, right? You're being a bit harsh, don't you think? He shrugs eloquently. Harsh times. He turns to DJ directly. Got anything to make a more compelling argument for why I should let you stick around? Nah, all good. Reckon we'd be going our separate ways once we reach the big smoke as it is. Uh-huh. He turns to you. Anyway, you got bigger fish to fry. What did you uncover about the plane? I'm gonna keep looking around.
Okay, but get a wriggle on. Can't spend all day trying to find out what happened.
No one's lived here for quite some time. Shelter's no use when your nearest water source is kilometers away. Oh, some radio parts. If you want to yarn with your long-distance mate, you'd be wise to keep parts like these on hand. This pudgy, frightened man wears ill-fitting stained clothes. He's been living hard, apparently. He spreads his hands to show there's nothing in them. To his credit, his voice hardly trembles. Good day, mate. Name's Omar. Reuben Omar. I'm a surveyor by trade and a scavenger by circumstance. He swallows hard. Please don't kill me. I'm totally unarmed. What the hell happened here? I was exploring nearby when we heard this god-awful sound. Saw this huge thing plummet and figured, hey, salvage. Why not check it out? He's talking fast now, almost panicked. Maybe get some loot I could sell, you know? Maybe get some tucker. Turns out I wasn't the only one to have that idea, though. I snuck away when the mongrels arrived.
Wait, the mongrels were here?
He nods. I was sussing out the front of that thing when they drove up. They grabbed Those two poor people from inside the plane. Took them and... His eyes cut towards the wreckage. He swallows. I just hid. You mentioned the mongrels. Who are they? Those bastards belong to a woman named Pris. Calls herself the Empress. Humble, she's not. Runs Ardath to the south. Me, I stay away from there, let me tell you.
Good choice. Ardath's not a place you want to visit if you're unarmed or sober.
Bunch of throwbacks living like a pack of dogs. Strong insult. Someone who should have been thrown back into the womb. A beast in human clothing. Just look at it. He has to clear his throat. Just look at what they did to those poor passengers. Why did the mongrels leave? Why did they do anything? Either they got what they wanted, or something spooked them. I did hear. He squints upward, remembering. Well, I thought I heard another engine, but then there was more shouting, so I stayed back here. Where did the mongrels go? He gestures towards the road. They filled their packs and headed off south of here. Probably back to Ardath, mate. How did you get away? His voice falters for the first time at the question. I was out round the front of the plane. Could hear those Ardath bastards carrying on like they do. Like they'd struck pay dirt. 4 of them, guns out. I didn't stand a chance. They set in on those 2 passengers and I... He stops, draws a breath. I crept away, down along the fence to this hut. I'm not a fighter. No weapons. What would you have done? Remained silent. Retreated and waited for backup, or a chance to escape if I knew no one was coming to help. Exactly. He risked a small smile at Ella. As soon as they were gone, I was going to leg it, then you lot showed up. We found an empty lockbox out front of the plane crash. You take what was inside? His eyes go wide at the question. Yeah, so you see, mate, I saw that and... He swallows hard. You notice him clutching his satchel tighter. I mean... Oi. Matt cuts him off sharply. Whatever it is, looks like the end of your story is in that bag. Open it. I already know you took something worth stealing, or you would have told us up front what it was. He swallows hard and fishes into his satchel. He pulls out a gold nugget the size of 2 fists. This. I'm just happy that I at least got away without those mongrels taking this. Where did you find that? It was in one of the boxes, out front of the plane. I found it before the mongrels showed up. Reckon I might be able to use it to buy myself a good life back in Meridan. Give up surveying. He looks down at the large nugget in his hands. That'll never happen now. Unless... There's a note of hope in his voice. Keep it well hidden. You never know who you'll encounter on the road. He startles, as if you press his hand to hot iron. What, mate? Are you serious? Yeah, mate. Are you serious? He quickly shoves the nugget back into his satchel. You got it, Chief. No one will catch so much as a glimmer until we're safe inside Meridan's walls. I promise. Poof. She shakes her head and turns away. I mean, we don't have a right to it. He did find it first. He has a wide grin on his face. Nice move, mate. Inspiring generosity. Yep, you've certainly done your good deed for the day. Now, if that's everything, I want to give the plane another go-over before I call it quits. Look, you're on your own out here. Why don't you join our convoy?
That's Mick's call to make, mate.
She steps in before Reuben has a chance to respond. Of course. Let's go see what Mick reckons. Really? Well, bugger me. I don't know what to say. Thank you, thank you. Don't make me regret sticking my neck out for you. You won't, I swear. He points at the plane, giddy with relief. This thing, eh? Glad it brought you my way.
Well, let's go get this over with.
I'm not keen to hear what Mick's got to say. Don't want to say more until we get that sorted. Let's Let's not talk to him until we've looked over the plane, I think. And if he comes along, then we technically have that gold nugget with us. So if something happens to him, we get it.
Okay, so I guess we weren't the first ones here.
He looks at the tire tracks on the ground. I'll take a closer look at the tracks. You examine the tracks. There's some amber soil in the treads, unlike the ochre dust of the surrounding area. You suspect the soil must have fallen off the tires of whatever vehicle made these tracks. What's interesting is there's only one town in a nearby radius that has this earthy soil type. Meridan. Reuben was wrong, or at least not entirely correct. Even if one group did come from Ardath, there's another group here as well, from Meridan, the exact town you were headed towards before you stopped to inspect the wreckage. Interesting.
Whoa. Look,
He points towards the break in the fuselage.
too late for both of them. She's had her throat cut. He's been beaten to death. And mate, this happened very recently.
He shakes his head. If it's so recent, maybe you should double check their vitals. DJ still cradles the head of one of the bodies on the ground in his hands. Mate, I'd love to say different, but dead is... The man's eyes fly open and he gasps. He looks towards his companion, Jensen. Then he sees you and recoils in horror. Shoo! Shoo! He drops the man's head in shock. Victim's eyes close once more, and his limbs go slack.
Oh, the bloody bat's out of bloody hell. Okay, he is 100% certified dead this time.
DJ takes a moment, shakes it off, and checks the man's pulse again. Maybe it's worth going through his pockets. He takes a deep breath. Bit disrespectful. I'll check exactly one place, but that's it. What'll it be? Might as well see if they have anything we can use. They're dead either way. Yeah, standard stuff, really. See those people back there? She motions towards Mick and the rest of the convoy. They just lost everything. Few hurt feelings don't mean much compared to that. He grits his teeth. One place. Make your choice. His shoes. DJ looks at you with both eyebrows raised. He removes the left shoe, shakes it out, then the right. As he's about to put it back on the corpse's foot, a small metal key plinks into the dust. Ah, right. Shoe.
Must have been important. May as well find out what was so worth protecting.
So I didn't gather the shoe connection. I figured that his shirt and pants were probably rifled through by the people that killed him. Beaten to death by the looks of things. If there ever was anything in here, it's gone now. You peer through the torn fuselage. Wrecked seats fade into the dimness, but you can make out the open door to the cockpit and a clear passage through. You could easily hoist yourself up and enter the downed plane from here. Enter the plane. You climb up and walk past empty seats. The acrid stench of the engine smoke hangs thick inside the fuselage as you make your way towards the cockpit. Inside are two bodies, still strapped to their chairs. The blood pooled below them, still dripping from fingertips, reveals how fresh this scene is. But the pilots are still lifeless and cold. Boxes and small containers lie strewn on the aisle, in the aisle. Aside from the pilots up front, the other seats are empty. Search the boxes. Other than some more serious denting around the corners, the locks have clearly been pried open. Someone's been in here as well. Search the cockpit. That's probably how the lockbox ended up outside. You doubt the impact alone would have popped it open. You take a closer look at the pilots. No breathing, no pulse. Only the slowly dripping blood, not yet dried. DJ steps closer and kneels next to each in turn, checking their heads, necks, and arms. Cold, he says. Probably from the moment this thing came down. Glances outside involuntarily. Not murdered like those two outside. This place has been ransacked. Ella's voice rings loud in the silence. Whoever did it might still be nearby. We need to search the area. Either they'll have more clues, or they've seen what happened. You turn back past the rows of seats and climb out the torn fuselage. Another question remains. Where's the key go to? There's no visible handle, and your fingers find no purchase around the edges. Doesn't look like anything could pry the bastard open. A wind whistles through the shattered glass, lifting what looks like the sleeve of a shirt. Maybe we can talk to this guy about the key, but he already opened up the lockbox. But it's possible that another box was taken by the group that came before. We can use the key to open that later. Oh look, someone else's share of dwindling supplies. He glares at you. You just can't go anywhere without picking up strays, can you? He turns his attention to Reuben, who's still way over there. And what about you, old mate? You look like you've been through the ringer. Though, of course, that's no concern of ours. I'm doing just fine, thanks for asking. He shifts his satchel subtly behind him. Just looking for a guarantee I'll make it back to Meridan safely. And what makes you think you'll find it with us? He speaks flatly, his mouth a thin line. He's a scavvy, knows how to find the treasure amongst the trash, and we lost the other scavvy I tried to bring along. Surveyor mate. He glances at Mick, embarrassed. On hard times is all. I haven't made a career of scabbing, promise. Sure you haven't. What else you got? Alright, I think he might have to pay his way. Show me what you've got in your satchel there, big fella. Okay. He rummages around in his satchel, pulls out some loose papers, the stub of a pencil, and a tobacco pouch. He spreads them in his hands and offers them to Mick. I meant the nugget, you bozo. He sighs heavily and brings out the gold. Mick's fingers twitch at the sight of it. Now that's a conversation starter. He holds out his hands expectantly. Give her over. You can follow us wherever you like. Deal? He shakes his head warily. You're not giving me a choice here, are you? Sure it's a choice. Give us the gold and live, or keep the gold and die. Probably. He stares at you in stony silence, maintaining eye contact as he hefts the nugget into Mick's waiting hands. I didn't want to take it from him, but he does have to pay his way. Mick's probably not going to take him unless he does. He gleefully tucks the nugget away. All's well that ends well, eh? Welcome aboard. There's two bodies outside the fuselage, recently killed. Did they look like they were in that thing when it came down? They were. Some dragged off with my own eyes. He swallows heavily. Don't think I'll ever forget it. One of them had a key in his boots. She looks at Mad, who nods, ever so slightly. Haven't found the lock it fits yet, though. We found fresh tire tracks near the plane. Not surprising that we aren't the only ones who have come for a squiz. A quick look at something. Could you tell anything about who was here? Looks like at least two vehicles. We're thinking that the first set was made by the mongrels, and the others most likely Meridan. Wherever they came from, they headed back there quickly. Meridan, eh? Guess that lot of got to do something to justify the amount of guns and ammo they extort from the rest of us. Don't think they'll be too pleased we know they were here, though. Gives you a wolfish grin. Reuben said the Ardith mongrels were the one who killed the passengers outside the plane. Ardith, eh? Shoot. Not surprised they beat us here. No doubt took whatever they could find, too. Yeah. Sounds like they made off with what our scavenger friend was hoping would be his. We searched inside the plane. 2 dead pilots. Some ransacked boxes and containers. The thing has been thoroughly picked over. A shame, but to be expected. Luckily we struck it rich on that gold nugget you acquired, then, huh? He winks at Reuben, returns his joviality stony-faced. That's all I found so far. Alright then. Alright, let's see then. He counts the points off on his fingers as he goes. We've got a glittering gold nugget, and we know Meridan was here. He strokes his beard. It's a start. Could be more to find. What do you reckon? I'll go have another look around.
On your bike, then.
Yes, I don't think the key's gonna go to anything here. I'm guessing it went to that lockbox, but... we were pretty thorough. I'm gonna guess that the key goes to something that was taken from the plane. I feel bad for Reuben. I didn't want to take the nugget from him, but now there's a chance he'll turn against the convoy when he gets the chance. Well, what can you tell me? That's all I found so far. Why'd I lie about that? I was pretty thorough. I don't think there's anything left to find. If you say so. He looks over at the crash, his eyes roving the scene. Alright, he sighs. Everyone ready? Our truck's ready to go. She looks to her sister, who nods. Okay, now as for our new friend. He turns to face Reuben. Come up front with me. I've got a lot of questions for you. Right you are, mate.
Let's move out.
Oh, bye, DJ. Travel to Meridan. She's been at the gates for a few minutes now. It's impossible to hear what they're saying from this distance. But finally her calm composure cracks. She yells at her impassive opponent. I'm not leaving my people out here to bake in the sun. He says something, gestures at the gates, and heads inside the town with a short, guilty glance at the convoy. The woman Jess is arguing with wears a white jacket with nary a stain or crease. She shields her golden eyes from the sun, and pitches her voice to carry to you and anyone else who may have heard Jess's outburst. As I said, Meridan has had an influx of people seeking aid. You of all people know how much it costs to house a population, let alone feed them. She spots you and Mick approaching and raises a hand to forestall Jess's response. Miss Brown, your friends appear to have missed the line over there for the other siders. I suggest you all get back in that line before I ask my guards to put you there. Why is there even a line? I thought Meridan welcomed travelers from all over. We do. The line is for people who wish to reside in Meridan permanently, or at least indefinitely. The two often overlap.
Governor Smith, this is all that's left of Brookton. Our town was raided, and its inhabitants scattered 3 nights ago. Jess tells me you're harsh, but fair. As Mayor of Brookton, I officially request your aid in retaking and rebuilding our community, starting today.
He gestures to the convoy. He straightens his jacket and looks her dead in the eye. The man at the head of the queue pipes up. Who cares? Westonia is under threat from forces with 10 times as much firepower as us. And I've sat in this line for 2 days on the off chance Governor Smith would deign to speak to me. Wait your turn like everyone else. She regards him coolly. Deign to speak to you, is it? Far be it from me to rupture such self-serving delusions by actually having a conversation with you. Governor. He recaptures her attention. We haven't come empty-handed. We've got specialists in our convoy. Farmers, medics, a mechanic. You know Mad and Ella, scouts from Bally Bally Hall. And old mate here. Gives you a critical look. He gestures to you. Go on, introduce yourself. I've got a knack for taking care of animals. His peculiar voice cuts through the irritable muttering of the crowd. Helped chase off some raiders and went looking for a stolen sheep without being asked twice, too. A jackaroo. This could work. All you need to know is we didn't come empty-handed, like Mick said. She briefly scans the rest of your convoy, her expression unreadable. I must say, Mick, you do have quite the group here. I can see why Jess was so adamant I let you in. She taps a finger on her chin. I'd love to help you, but there are plenty of others in this line with similar skills. What it comes down to is whether or not you can support yourselves without relying on handouts. If you could guarantee that you won't be a burden on our already strained economy, we could let you in. On a provisional basis, of course. Her lips compress into a thin line. She turns and calls out to the convoy. Anyone who grabbed more than the bare essentials, bring it here. The governor wants proof we can pay our own way. If your crops are suffering, I can lend a hand. I've got plenty of tricks up my sleeve. She clears her throat to get Angela's attention, then jerks her head at the thronging crowd outside the walls. She looks at the never-ending line of people, then back at you. I'm satisfied with what you've shown me today. Mick, Meridan is open to your people. You and I will speak of your request for aid later. Understood? He snaps out of his reverie. Of course, thank you. He heads inside without another word, and the rest of you trail in his wake. Enter Meridan. I'm gonna try and hold on to that gold nugget for as long as we can. He walks towards you slowly. His head droops and his once immaculately pressed jacket now disheveled. He exhales, then looks up at you. He gestures to the makeshift camp. As much as I like to take credit for all this, I feel like I dropped the ball. You and Jess did good work out there. Thanks for offering to be a dog's body for the governor. Free labor's like catnip for leaders. I never turned it down myself. He chuckles. He sighs and looks around. Here's the deal. I'm going to try to talk Governor Smith into helping us retake Brookton. You're welcome to get the lay of the land first, but if you could meet me at Smith House sooner rather than later, I'd appreciate the backup. I'm going to take a look around then. I'll see if I can catch the governor before she gets bogged down in affairs of state. She's got a lot going on right now, but Brookton is a priority. It has to be. He says this last part almost to himself, though the conviction in his voice doesn't make it through the worry on his face.
Farming is Meridan's bread and butter. So a crop connoisseur like you should fit right in.
Hush up now, DJ, or your friends will know that you doubted him. This old man speaks with a twinkle in his eye, leaning on his cane to appraise you from a comfortable distance. You made it. He stares at you. I was sure Angelo was going to keep you in that line out of spite. I used my charm on her. He glances at DJ. Somehow, I doubt that. He touches the brim of his hat. I'll see you in Corda then. Angela's obviously not going to give me the time of day. Stop by any time, even if you don't manage to find it. Yes, Conk. The old man gives you one last look, then shuffles away. Find what? Conk asked me to find a treasure he lost in Meridan. He says it's not worth anything to anyone but him, even if it looks a bit swanky. He holds up a hand. On one half of the treasure is a black rectangle about the size of my palm, and the other is a white plastic rope that slots into the end.
Let's see if we can hunt it down.
Okay. Well, I'm going to call it here, and next time we'll begin exploring Meridan, and also see if we can't find that treasure. And go from there. But for now, thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one.